What's up, everyone? It's Attrax, and today we are diving headfirst into a world where humans are long gone. Kung Fu is king, and mutating yourself with radioactive sludge is actually a good thing. We are playing Biomutant, a stunning open world RPG where the tree of life is literally dying. Giant monsters are eating its roots, and it's up to us to save the planet, or just watch it go under. I would like to add and inform you that the animals do not talk. There is going to be narration on both sides from me and in the game. So I just want to give you guys a heads up. Anyways, let's dive right in.
Here's somebody with a troubled past, drawn into the spotlight of a story that's already begun. We're already at a crossroads. Choosing a path in life is that fork in the road where you make a choice or simply stop living. But for you, it's not only a crossroad, but a choice. A reflection of your key, the primal energy that flows through everything.
Alright, first decision of the game. Let's go with light.
Let me introduce myself. I'm the light and bright side of you, or your inner voice to be precise, an echo of balance and consequence of your actions as you move forward.
Light is only for those having difficulty seeing what's in front of them. Sticking to the me first path is the only way we'll be going places.
Stories of death and the bodies left behind, a reminder that we're at the mercy of nature and the one that preys on others. Do you remember the beast that shattered your family, or did you choose to forget? You turned your back on our world and got lost in your own. Meanwhile, the predator only grew stronger.
So, do we have healing powers, or is this some type of prayer? This is kind of dope.
Better make a run for it. This is not the time nor place to end this story. This time, it was best to run and live to fight another day. Let us hope you're ready for it when it comes. The predator isn't the only threat. The wildlife started to mutate when the end of days began, and the tree of life started to die.
Okay, so far, I must say I do like the movement, I like the fighting, and I was very surprised that we get a gun because, it's Kung Fu. I figured we only going to use hand to hand combat or swords, but having a gun is a plus. Okay, to put everybody on, this is one of those games where you do have to farm. So in this game, right, you have a bag like a capacity, but you don't have to worry about reaching max capacity. The game allows you to keep collecting and collecting, farming gear. So my advice is to keep farming and understand what to equip and use, etc., etc. Okay, so you could press start and go to the gear tab, and you can equip like armor pads and stuff like that after defeating enemies or finding it from farming.
Look, an emergency box from the once was. A rare sight. That pipe looks weak. The claw bar should come in handy.
Here we go. Let's get out of here. Why he fall and get up and recover so fast?
Find a way out of this place. No, really, I mean it. The Morks produce biomatter in their multi-organ that they shed under distress, blobs that affect the cellular coding strands of any living being when absorbed, including you.
Alright, one thing about the gun is that sometimes it just does not want to like shoot, and then the other like side of it is that it kind of shoots slow sometimes, like it has a mind of its own.
Toxanol built vessels called arks to save themselves from the impending doom. But was it too late? It is only from the flight logs of the single ark they left behind that we know other arks traveled through the sky and beyond. It seems those that came before us never lost hope in finding a new home for their kind. That's shutting good.
All right, so throughout the game, there are gonna be like little mini games like this, and a little spoiler, it's all I'm gonna say is it's worth it. Like during the story, during the side quests, do them. Trust.
There are few records of the chain of events that led to the big apocalypse eons ago, but it's clear the world wasn't prepared for how recklessly the Toxanol Corporation would make its mark on the world. Their rare earth mining and nuclear industries generated tons of waste, and, without consideration for the future, they dumped it all in landfills until they ran out of space. That's when they made the big mistake. They began dumping the toxic waste in the surf just off the coast instead, assuming that it would sink and decay with time. And they were right, but no one was prepared for what was about to unfold. Once in the surf, the radiation interfered with the genetics of the wildlife and created bizarre mutations in their offspring. It had an inconceivable impact on biodiversity and the entire ecosystem. The world as they knew it crumbled as nature retaliated. It would never be the same again, and what remained of it became ours. The sound of spark metal going pew-pew is never a good thing. It's coming from behind that door. A warning label. The box looks like a potential brain melt. It's going to take a bit of puzzling to short-circuit the door. There you go.
Okay, sometimes after the puzzles, I'm gonna like purposely either slow down the clip or like just extend it a little bit so you can see the answer, and then I'll jump back like to the game. But I'm not gonna do it too much because I don't want to like annoy you guys. But I want to also help at the same time, you know.
The wheeled one is outnumbered. You'd better help him out. Sharp steel. That's the last of them. Let's talk to the wheeled one before backup arrives.
All right, let's see what the old guy has to say.
He wants to thank you for taking his side against the scavengers. He sounds familiar. You just can't figure out why. He presents himself as out of date. He knows he's way overdue, but he hasn't given up. He doesn't seem surprised that you don't recognize him. You were just a child back then, the night everything changed. There have been rumors of a one-eyed Ronin seen outside the Great Wall, and he's happy to see it's true. The legend of the one-eyed child that grew up as an outcast is old and sad. The child could have been anyone, but the evil it had fled had left a mark, a facial scar to remember the past. There's no doubt you're the child, and that what Looper Lupin did to your village, your Mooma and Popsy, was the beginning of the end. It says his friends are gearing up to stop the World Eaters. There's one at the end of each route. The road ahead won't be easy, but he's counting on your support. His friends aren't strong enough to end this on their own. He wants you to understand that you'll all die if the tree isn't saved. Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the World Eaters.
Okay, to fill you guys in, there was a flashback of the main character with his parents and stuff, but I just felt like It wasn't good. It wasn't really, the information wasn't the greatest, and it was just unnecessary feedback you guys didn't need. So I just took that out, and the old guy just explained the territories that you need to take over. So I just wanted to let you know you didn't miss out on anything.
A signpost maps it out for the cartographically challenged.
Yes, what you are thinking and seeing is happening. He is definitely peeing on this pole. So every time you see this, make sure you go to it so you can fast travel around.
That must be the World Eater that chewed off Out-of-Date's leg. You'll need a hat trick to bring that down. Look, a survivor. Glad to see someone made it out alive. He's heard the stories about the terror inflicted by the World Eaters to other enclaves, but never expected one to come all the way here. He worries there won't be much left to save if this continues, even if the Tree of Life survives the attack. He doesn't know what your connection is to this place, but something tells him you've stayed true to your heart. Anyway, he needs help and says it's by your actions you'll be judged, not by your intentions. He's grateful for that. You still seem to have a spark of light in you.
That's a spark of light in you!
What's there to like about light? It hurts to look at.
Not as much as it hurts to look at you.
Always making this personal.
And you're always trying to pretend it's not.
It's out of date again. He must have missed something important. Out of Date says you will make a better stand against the World Eaters with the support of a tribe, and there are two nearby. The Myriad tribe is likely to be a good match as they act on the understanding of the greater good and have a code of honor. Regardless of who you choose, it won't be easy, as the conflict between the tribes is worse than ever, teetering on the brink of war. Out of Date says someone needs to break the stalemate and shift the balance of power to either Jagni's or Myriad's side. He believes the tribe Sifus, Myriad especially, will listen to you and expects you to pay at least one of them a visit and play your part. Out of Date will be waiting for you beneath the Tree of Life if you lose track of what you need to do.
So I'm going with the Myriad side, and mainly light choices. Also, when you're going through these outposts, always check the sides because there's always loot that you can farm.
That's the Myriad tribe's fortress. Will they be friends or foe? You should head up there. That way you'll know. It's a beaten path to that door. If you go there, you'd better make an entrance. Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war. Hopes you have patience. The Sifu can't stop himself from talking sometimes. Let's hope this isn't one of those days.
All right, here we go. Hopefully he accepts us. Let's see how this goes.
The Myriad tribe act on understanding of the greater good and a code of honor. They believe uniting the tribes is the only way to restore the peace. The Sifu is convinced that defeating the World Eaters and saving the Tree of Life is the only way to make the world a better place. He welcomes you to the Myriad fort and introduces himself as the tribe's Sifu. But he was hoping you'd show up. The news of a vigilante Ronin on crusade crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101 has preceded you. He heard you took out-of-date side against the scavengers in Bunker 101. It seems you believe in helping your next, and that's something you have in common. There's something about your spirit that sparks memories of you as a kidling. He can still sense you're kind-hearted. The Sifu says sometimes one memory can make another come to life. He hasn't thought about your Muma for ages, even though she taught him a lot. He was one of the original Wung-Fu disciples. Your Muma invented Wung-Fu. Originally, it consisted of unarmed combat and the 6 weapons: the boomerang, the shuriken, the bow, the staff, the nunchuk, and the hook and chain. Myriad wants unity between the tribes. Their goal is understanding of the greater good and establishing a code of honor. If you believe there's some good in everyone, there's still hope for tomorrow. You'll unite the tribes and defeat the World Eaters to save the Tree of Life.
Guess I was a little nervous for no reason. Alright, let's join up.
He was hoping you'd join them. You understand that there's no harm in doing good to others. The Sifu was waiting for something to tip the balance in their favor, and with you by their side, he's confident you can unite the other tribes. The one you should coerce first is the Jagni tribe. Their kin have run out of options and found themselves backed into a corner. Even those who desire peace have been forced to prepare for war. He wants you to focus. These are the new rival outposts your tribe needs to take control of. He says you'll regret not being on their side. The only way you'll learn their secrets, Wung-Fu and the tribe weapon now, is if you defeat him. And that will never happen. You both have gentle minds, so they want to wage a gentle war. A war that bonds as much as it breaks. Tells you not to be afraid. Your fate cannot be taken from you. Claim the rival outposts and earn the right to wield the tribe weapon. Once you've dealt with the rivals' outposts, you'll challenge their Sifu to unite their tribe with yours and let your kin share land again. Seeing you brings back his memories of the old village. He remembers your kind and unselfish soul and can sense you still have it in you, the will to do good. Anyway, the memories you make with your family are strong and can sometimes come to life. Passing the old village on your way to the first rival outpost might help.
Alright, ladies and gents, I think this is a perfect place to stop. In the next video, we will either be having an alliance or we'll be taking over that, I guess you want to call it the outpost, and they won't have anything. But you'll find out in the next video. So thank you for watching the tracks, and I'll see y'all in episode 2.